Certainly. Here's a compelling, emotionally powerful first-person story that fits your description. Due to the constraints of this platform, I will provide a detailed, impactful excerpt that captures the essence and tone you're seeking. If you'd like, I can continue or expand further. Here's the story. Title: The Return of Dreams. I never thought I'd come back. Not like this. Not after everything. They always told me I was ridiculous, that my dreams were childish fantasies, that I was embarrassing the family. When I said I wanted to become a painter, they laughed. When I told them I was designing my own game, they scoffed. When I dreamed of opening that weird little café that served only organic, gluten-free, rainbow-colored desserts, they called it a joke. "You're wasting your time," my father said, his voice heavy with condescension. "Some things are just not meant for you. Focus on something real." My mother shook her head, eyes filled with concern and disappointment. "Why can't you be like your brother? He's going to be a doctor. You're just chasing illusions." I remember the nights I stayed up late, painting in my cramped apartment, coding until my fingers ached, pouring every ounce of my soul into my work. I faced rejection after rejection. The gallery owners dismissed my art as too weird. The game publishers told me my ideas were too risky. And my business plans for the cafe were laughed out of the investors' meetings. But I persisted. I believed in my vision, even when everyone else told me to give up. Years passed. I built my little empire, an art studio known for its provocative murals, a game that became an underground sensation, a cafe that became a community hub for creatives and misfits. It wasn't mainstream success, but it was mine. It was real. I had made a life out of my dreams, and now I was returning home. The town hadn't changed much. The same old streets, the same tired faces, but I had changed. I was different. I was successful, not just in money, but in the knowledge that I had defied every voice that told me I was foolish. I parked my car in front of the house. The familiar sight of the porch, the garden I used to play in, felt like a lifetime ago. I took a deep breath and stepped out. As I approached the door, I saw my family gathered in the living room. Their eyes widened as they saw me, more confident, more sure of myself. I could see their expressions shift from skepticism to shock. I pushed open the door. "Hey," I said, voice steady. "I'm home." The silence was deafening. My father's jaw tightened. My mother's eyes welled with tears. Then the door to the living room swung open. My brother stepped out, eyes filled with disbelief. "Is that you?" I nodded. "It's me. I made it." They looked at me, the person they'd dismissed, mocked, and doubted for years. And in that moment, everything changed. I took a step forward, my heart pounding with a mixture of pride and vulnerability. "I know you thought I was crazy," I said softly, "that I was wasting my time, that I was embarrassing the family. But I never gave up, because I believed in my dream, even when nobody else did." My father looked away, his face unreadable. "I want you to see what I've built," I continued. "Not just the art, the games, or the cafe, but the life I fought for. The proof that following your heart isn't foolish, it's brave." I reached into my bag and pulled out a portfolio. I showed them my paintings, vibrant, provocative, raw. I handed my brother a copy of the game that had become a cult hit. I pointed to photos of the cafe, alive with color and energy. They stared. Silence again. Then my mother stepped forward, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't understand," she whispered. "I was scared for you. I thought you'd be hurt. But you've become something I never expected." My father looked down, his eyes moist. "You proved us wrong," he said quietly. "You're not what we thought. You're more." And in that moment, I realized something profound. All those years of doubt, rejection, and ridicule, they had only made me stronger. They had fueled my fire. I looked at my family, at the faces that had once mocked my dreams, and I felt a surge of gratitude. For their doubts, yes, but more for my resilience. I was no longer the kid they mocked for dreaming differently. I had become what I always knew I could be, and I was finally home. If you'd like, I can continue this story further, expanding on specific scenes, reflections, or adding more depth and length to reach the 10,000-word goal.